Hello, everyone. Here we are. This is Kaiser Espinosa from the Wellbeing Training Center, and I'm so happy to be able to be sharing another time, another day with all of you. Lately, we have been having very good results, comments, emails, and in general, very good experience doing our live well-being training center with this new program, which is Naked Wellbeing. So I'm so happy to be able to start with a little bit of music, and because you know that music is the language of the soul. And doesn't matter where you are, who you are, you always will be empowered by music, because music is vibration, and we all need to vibrate higher and higher and higher. So I'm here today to have another episode, but this one it's about, I have called it Justice in a Bottle, and later on I will tell you why this is justice in a bottle. In the meantime, let me ask you, what is your favorite food for a Sunday afternoon? Leave your comments on the chat box, please. I hope we are not having technical difficulties with the internet speed, and I hope we will be able to complete our video in the right time. So let's try. Have you ever tried this chili con carne? Have you ever tried chili con carne? It's absolutely delicious. And try that one if you haven't tried it, and put a lot of spicy on it. Fill it in with spice, okay? And leave your comments or send me your emails or your messages, whatever is your preference, about what was the experience after your chili con carne. Last week we had burritos. Maybe next time I will introduce you to arepas. So as I said, the session of the day is justice in a bottle. And as you can see, I have got my justice symbol, which is the weight balance. Why is that? Because everything that we do in life has to be balanced. This is the best way of how to be or proceed in life. We need to be balanced. We need to be right in the middle. We need to be in zone zero. And I do understand that this is the hardest bit of life, to try to, compromise or to level up the scales. But for some reason, justice has been defined by this symbol, the scales. And that should tell you something. It should tell you everything that you need to know in life. You don't need to be a genius in order to understand that the scales work best when they are level up. right? Sometimes, yes, we do have difficulties in life and the scale will incline to one side more than the other side, but it's your job to make it to be zero, to be level up. And that's the best way it works, okay? So when you go tonight to bed, or when you have time to meditate and reflect, think about that with your own thoughts, with your own consciousness, with your own language, the language that you understand. Think about the scales and how to balance that in your life. So once you create that balance is when you create harmony. And harmony is a beautiful desire. Everybody wants harmony. Everyone in the world wants harmony. But one more time, this is coming from you. You cannot buy harmony. Doesn't matter how much money you have, you cannot buy harmony because harmony is created. It starts within you and then you pass it to one to another. And we all, as a collective, we create beautiful things and we create harmony. In the other hand, we can create hate and no very happy feelings around, which I tend to talk about what I want and not what I don't want. So try to visualize that tonight. Try to understand how to create harmony. In order to create harmony, you have to be fair and you have to use justice. And that's the primary principle of life: fairness and justness. Life is not just about you and what you want, it's about other people as well. It's about creating a collective environment where everybody is in alignment, where everybody is under the umbrella of the law. I am a true believer in the universal laws. That's why I believe in humanity, and that's why I believe in quantum physics, and that's why I believe in the human race. Because of that, okay? Because of law. They are universal laws, they are civil laws, and we all rule by them. We have got little room to move around, and that is when we have got choices, options. That's absolutely essential, critical to understand. Last time I was talking about self-love and how we can start loving ourselves. And once you start loving yourself purely and unconditionally, nobody ever will be able to abuse you or denigrate you or take advantage of you, because you will know what is best for you and you will be able to stop it. But without the law and the justice and that system, people can just come and abuse you and take advantage of you. And this is how important it is to have justice in a bottle. You actually need to have a mirror where you can see the word justice every day of your life. And when you become a practitioner of justice, because this is one of the main issues. We learn something, we develop something, but after a little while, we forget about it and we stop being practitioners. So when I went to school, and this is the importance of education, it's very, very important to educate ourselves, and it's very important to send our kids to school. And it's not just because we cannot look after our own kids. It's not because of that. It's because for many, many kids, schools are the welfare center. And that's how it works. That's how it is. Because the kids just don't learn knowledge. They learn activities, they learn critical thinking, they learn socializing with one and another. They learn a series of skills, which it will be very helpful in the future when we need to apply those and when we need to be independent adults. And so education is essential. I don't believe in knowledge. You can know as much as you want, but if you don't know how to apply knowledge and you don't have the ability to resolve or to see other angles or to have critical thinking, your knowledge, your degree, whatever you did study is not going to be useful. And this is why an entrepreneur can make sometimes more money than someone that spent 10 years studying for a degree. Because critical thinking and solution developing, it's essential as well. So we have to apply those. We have to put that in the balance, in the scale of balance. But let me tell you, when I went to school, I learned about freedom. They taught me about my heroes, yeah, in history, which I do remember many of them, but one of my favorite was Francisco de Miranda, which you can do your own research about him, and the other one was Simon Bolivar. He did liberate 5 continents against the imposition of the Spanish crown. And as you know, I'm from South America, I'm a Latino American, and I do believe in freedom because that's what we learned at school. We learned that we were a colony of Spain, and we learned that between the African Venezuelans, the Aborigines, the South American Aborigines, the indigenous, as we call it, and also the Spanish, but the Venezuelan Spanish, the ones that were born in the country. Between those 3, they created such a movement that they actually liberate Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and there is another one that I don't have right now, Bolivia, from the repression and the exhaustion and the condemnation and everything that it can make sense in your mind, right? So, and I feel absolutely proud that I went to school and I learned about that. So think about what are your favorite heroes, okay? What are your favorite ones? Heroes. What are your favorite heroes in history? Who do you actually follow because of what they did, because their bravery, because how they conduct themselves, their values, their attributes, the way they thought about, the way they resolved a problem? Because clearly, Simon Bolivar, or Bolivar Simon, which you can research about him, clearly he thought that having African slaves and South American Aborigines was a problem for the society. It did stop us to evolve as a society. He thought, he used his critical thinking, he used all his awareness and his consciousness to understand that no human being should have been treated like that, and no human being should have been treated so poorly, regardless of the color, culture, education, language, and background. And that is what I learned at school. So leave in the comment, what did you learn at school? Because I wasn't the best one, don't get me wrong, but one of my ability was to listen and to practice. And that's why, as an adult, I do respect worship, liberty, freedom, history, and fighting for the right cause. And if the system doesn't want people like me to worship history, liberty, freedom, and values, then why do they teach at a school? If they want everybody to be submissive, to be scared of free speech, to be scared of telling their mind or speaking their mind up, or if they don't want people to actually think for themselves, why do they teach history at school then? Because the two are contradicting each other. So see for yourself, hear for yourself, and analyze for yourself. And that is what I spent my life doing. And it made me absolutely proud of doing that. It what it makes sense in my life. My values is what it makes sense. I never will get impressed with material values. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy the same as everybody. And I would like to have more of that. But that doesn't define my life. I won't be able to go to sleep knowing that I didn't do what it was the best. And not just for me, for everybody else. Because I believe in community. I believe in creating a good environment for everybody, not just for one or another. And I believe absolutely in freedom. Freedom is what it makes me get up from bed every single day of my life. Because I need to feel free. I need to feel that I can breathe. I need to feel that I respect others and others respect me equally. And that is beautiful. That's how you create a new world. That's how you teach your kids. That's how you know, once your kids become adults, that you know they are going to be doing well in life. That's how you know your daughter never ever will be abused by any man on earth, because she will have her own critical thinking. She will know what is right and what is not. She will know that if someone comes and promise her the sky, the moon, and the ocean, she will know that that's not enough. Because it's not enough to tell people what they want to hear. It's enough to act accordingly to what you say. Your actions have to support what you say. And that's how you become a person of value, gratitude, and a person that actually can think and can do what it says. On the other hand, and I don't want to minimize or make this a conflict, but on the other hand, we have learned that politicians don't do what they say. How could I have faith, or how could I follow someone's leadership when one day they say green, and the next day they say black, and the next day they say blue, and it's all contradiction. And contradiction, because if you lie, you won't have the memory to remember things. That's why the truth is a powerful weapon, absolutely powerful weapon. You become a person of honor. You become a person of integrity. You become a person of values once you know how to tell the truth. You also become a person that can respect somebody else's truth, because we're all different, and that is what it makes us interesting. If we all look the same, sound the same, do the same things, and like the same things, how boring life will be. And that's why this young generation, they enjoy traveling. There is nothing more beautiful than to meet another culture, somebody that thinks different from you, that have got different background, that the traditions are totally different, because you can spend hours talking and comparing and seeing how that person is. And I understand empowering differences is not for everybody, but for the people that think different, act different, and believe in different, we should not be left out. We should not be separated or isolated because of the way we think and the way we act. So, so think about everything that I have told you so far. Yeah, think about, go back in time and think about and make your own reflections about what are your values. Be a person of value. What is justice for? What is the law for if we just ignore it? I love law. I love rules and regulation, I must tell you. But what I don't love and I don't accept, it's when the law is okay for one sector, but it's different for another sector. That's what I don't understand. My mind doesn't conceive that. It's not there. It doesn't register. My validation program doesn't process that. And we all have got a validation program. Using computers are the latest and the trendy thing, and they are powerful. Well, I must tell you, you are more powerful than any computer in the world. You have got the same ability of any computer or any phone or any tablet or whatever. You have got your own Bluetooth, which it tells you where to go, your own GP, it connects you with one on another. You have got all that is the power of mind, all that. And you have got your own validation system. And this system will actually tell you what is true and what is not true. Obviously, we do have blockages because we do have belief system as well. And whatever we believe, our validation system will try to comply with that one, if you know what I mean. Maybe this is a little bit difficult to explain, but there you are. The most important thing that you need to understand is that you have a validation system. We may follow one or another. We may follow what is out there for us. There should be guidance, but you have your own validation system, and it's time that you start using it for your benefit, for your own good, for the benefit of your family, your community, your street, your neighborhood, your country, your city, whatever is important for you. Start using that validation system. Start asking questions. Start searching for the truth, and start seeing the signals. There are a lot of signals out there, and you have to open your eyes really, really wide open in order to see signals. Okay? So once you start using your validation system, you will avoid people that scam you for instance. That's how important. People that come and lie to you. People, the typical case is when people tell you, oh, you have got the most beautiful eye in the world. How many times have you heard that? And then, okay, demonstrate. Demonstrate. Give me the evidence. Prove that you are saying that I'm the most beautiful person in the world. If you start applying this when you meet someone, whether it's a female or a male or whatever, we're not going to get into these gender distinctions here. You will save yourself a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of tears, and whatever. So it's time to start teaching kids critical thinking, solution approach. I spend time online only because I like to hear, to read, and see how people think and how they use their knowledge and how they use language. Because, as you know, I love language. I am a neuro programming linguistic person, and all my work is about language. So I love that. And unfortunately, results are not looking so good anyway. We are not using our senses. We are not using our sensory system yet, unfortunately. And what I'm telling you today, it costs a lot of money. The way I'm trying to help you today, you will be paying huge amount of money. But I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because I believe in values. I believe people need to start engaging neurons. They are there for a reason. People need to start engaging the sensory system. People need to start seeing what is there for them and what is not. They need to start engaging the whole body, the mind, the brain, the eye, the ears, the mouth, all your hands. Your full system needs to be engaged in order to be successful, in order to make right decisions. It's all about well-being. It's all about communication. It's all about teaching you how to use your own resources, your own tools, the tools that you have available with you. And people say, well, why are you giving all this information away? Why are you telling them how to do it and what to do? Because I like to do. Because I am, how do I say this? I'm very experienced person, and not just because I have trained for many years in different workplaces and in different environments. Different locations, different countries. It's not just because of that. It's because I have got the life experience, skills as well. And also it's because I apply what I teach to me. It first have to go through my validation system before I can actually apply it to my clients. Because I'm confident. Because I can tell you all sort of things, but at the same time, I can create a program or I can give you coaching with nothing that I have said before. And that is how you know that you have mastered your subject. So everyone should be able to master the subject. If you know what you're talking about, then you are the best in the game. And that's what it is. You don't have to have a scarcity. You don't have to be scared. I absolutely don't like be hidden away. I don't like secrets. My life is like in my Facebook, open and transparent. Everybody knows what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, where I'm doing it, with who I'm doing it, and that is who I am. Doesn't mean that you have to be equal, but I'm telling you who I am. So let's remember what we're talking about. We are talking about justice in a bottle today. Justice in a bottle. So I know they call me a dreamer, but who is not a dreamer? We all dreamers. And that's the beautiful thing about life, that life you can make whatever you want of it. On the other hand, yesterday I had a really, really bad experience. I'm going to talk about this because I don't want this to sort of happen to anyone. When, as I say, when I went to school, they taught me with pride, and they installed that in me about justice. I learned the legislation. I learned about human rights. I learned about liberty. And that's what I repeat. I repeat what I learned. Simple like that. Yesterday, I went to a webinar. And this webinar, usually we do these monthly meetings where I've been invited to hear whatever it is. And we do it because I participate in these organizations where we help the unprivileged people that are asylum seekers, people that are refugees, or people that have got, any kind of issue that are vulnerable, and we need one each other. The meeting was going very well until the subject got brought up, which is vaccination. So vaccination is a new rule and divide subject. And this is the way the system tries to always separate us, always. Rather than united and build unity, it's always separation. Because when you separate, you rule. And when you rule, you always conquer. And remember what I was saying before. This is how South America got conquered. But what they didn't realize is that Aborigines, we were there, we were in the land, we were the landowners. We believed in the sky, in the moon, the Charmant. We had one of the biggest civilization on earth, which was the and just when I need to remember, I cannot remember. The Amazonian, we owned the Amazonian. We owned. We had our own Aborigines. We had our own commerce system. We had our own clothes. We could define the time. We create our own internal system, and that system was working very well until someone came with the idea that they wanted power, because human beings fight each other for power. Who is more powerful? You think that money, they fight for money? No, they fight for power. That's all that they did. They do, and they did in that time, power. So conquer after you rule. And the way they do it is there on the blood, is there in our DNA, is there in our history, in our background. It's if they analyze the DNA, they will find that. They will find the traits of being conquered, of being abused, of being raped, of being privileged, or everything that nowadays we condemn. But we condemn that in one way, but another way it's still happening, and we all part of the system. We all there, like cannibals, eating each other and defending people that never will do nothing for you, absolutely nothing. People that if you fall on a hole today, they never will come and see you. They never will say, hi, how are you? Do you need my help? And this is the wrong type of worshipping. We worship everything else, everything external, rather than worshiping ourselves, rather than to find our own solutions, rather than to go internally, rather than to actually get the message, get the information, and pass it through our own validation system. Your body will tell you what is right and what is not right. That's what your body is designed for, believe or not. So yesterday I was mute because I'm not anti-wax or pro-wax or whatever. I like to be in the middle. I like to see what is what. And as a well-being practitioner, as a health worker, I have got values. I value the immune system. I value eating well, eating healthy. I value exercise. I value everything that is to do with health. That's what I value. And as a person that comes from the Mayas, the Aztecas, that's my background. That's where I grew up. I'm from Venezuela, I'm from South America. I never in my life have been very, very ill. I've been ill because I didn't follow my immune system. I didn't follow my validation system. I didn't hear my body. And it took me years of understanding that. But once I did, I haven't been ill at all. I proud can say that I haven't been to the doctor for about 5 years, except this last year where I have been back and back and back repeatedly to the doctors. Because I trust my immune system. I trust it. This is what I sell to my clients. This is my best example of how it works is with my partner, my fiance, Ian. When I first met him, he was absolutely overweight. His life was depending on a solution, on a change, on new way of thinking, on updating his mindset, updating his files. So we are slowly, for the last 4 years, we have been working on a homemade food, nutrition, not diet. I never support any diet. Diet is for people that want to lose weight, and nutrition is for people that want to live long life in a healthy environment. I don't believe in deprivation. I don't believe in that. So I don't believe in instant diets or quick results. I don't believe that because nature and the humanity and process and everything that involves the human development, it's a slow process. Everything that is to do with your mindset, it's a slow process. So for the last 4 years, we have been working on that, working on exercise. How do you convince someone that never have done exercise to do exercise? So it's a slow process. And it would be a lot of contradiction, it would be a lot of emotions, it would be a lot of things involved. But you keep going and going and going because you have to present the future. You have to see yourself in a future pace. You have to see yourself doing the things that you want to see. And so for me, my well-being and the well-being of everybody else is absolutely essential and important. On the other hand, I believe that not everybody have got the same belief. Not everybody see it in the same way. And I do respect that. If people want to have vaccination, it's nothing to do with me. It's not my problem. I'm not going to convince anyone. I may try to influence someone, and I may try to invite that person into my well-being training center, into my well-being 365, which is all to do with the mind, emotions, your physical involvement, everything to do with your humanity, what is important for you. In order to be healthy, you have to eat healthy, and you have to exercise, you have to engage your body, and you have to engage your mindset. You have to transform your mindset. And that's what I do. And so nothing else is my problem. But at the same time, if I do respect your point of view, why would you not respect my point of view? This person yesterday mute me, censorship me, and actually invalidate my question. And my question was very simple. Why do I have to respect your opinion and you cannot respect mine? Why can you not accept my natural way of living? Why can you not accept that I have gone through everything already from the beginning and now I have developed antibodies? Why do you have to create a system and an imposition and overruling human rights and overruling my own criteria in order to tell me that we have to save one another? It's not true. We don't have to save one another. You decide to have your vaccination because you want to protect yourself, because that's the way you think you will be protecting yourself. That's what your body tells you. That's what you believe. That's what you're going to do. That's fine. That's acceptable. My way is totally different. I believe in my own immune system. I work every single day on my own immune system. When I get ill, which is never ever happened, I just take hot lemonade with honey, tea. That's all that I do. And my flu goes. So if I respect your position, you need to respect mine. I like to influence people in a positive way. But yesterday, I couldn't stop thinking that what really vulnerable people have to go through. Because I can defend myself, I can argue myself, I know the law, I know that there are human rights, and I've been fighting for human rights for a little while, and I have been researching and I have been filing all the information. I have been filing cases of how human rights are not acknowledged. And why do you create human rights if they are not going to be acknowledged? Why do you teach in school, universities, in high schools about human rights and the freedom of speech if you are going to invalidate that information when it's the time to do it? That doesn't make sense in my mind. Why do we have laws that protect us if when is the time we overrule the laws? Why is that? Why do we act like that? And people like that person yesterday, which I had in a high regarding estimation because all of her beautiful work that she does with the community, with the vulnerable people, it was just thrown on the bin. Because trying to mute me and trying to censor me, it just proved that she didn't have an argument. It proved that she was telling people, and the boiling point was when she was telling people, oh, I did it, so you should do it. And you see how it sounds? Because I did it, then you should do it. Well, that's not critical thinking. That's not a personal choice. That's imposition. That's what dictatorships they do. They censor you. They don't let the information to travel. They don't give you the right information. They don't let you listen to one side and listen to the other side, and then you make your own conclusion. They don't let you to do that. It is only one-way street. And that is the danger. One-way street. All words, when they play with your mind and you actually act on behalf of the government, or in this case, on behalf of a pharmaceutical. And the clear way to see this is when they, I call they the system, which you are part of the system and I'm part of the system, and we all create this wonderful system because the government is a system and we all part of the system. So your opinion, your influence is really important as part of the system. So when you tell vulnerable people, people that didn't go to school, people that flew miles and miles and miles to save themselves because they didn't have human rights in their own country, because they didn't have freedom, because they were attacked with bombs every single day, day after day, because they were looking for safety. They were looking for a safe nest, like everybody will do, because the first thing that you do when you are in this situation is you want to be safe. And that is they are in survival mode, and that's how unfortunately our governments keep us in survival mode, keep us very poor, very uneducated, very indoctrinated. So we always busy thinking about how am I going to survive, how am I going to provide food, safety, justice, clean water, clothes, education for me and for my family. How am I going to do that? And that's how you spend your whole time busy. And that's how you don't see what is happening in the other side. And to actually use people in that way is bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. What you do is your responsibility. You need to start protecting yourself and leave everybody else to do what is best for them. At the end of the day, that's what is supposed to be, living in a state of freedom. Otherwise, just tell the truth. Tell everybody this is not a state of freedom. Just say it. If I cannot fly, if I cannot send my kids to school, if I cannot go to community places, if I cannot do this and that because I don't believe in certain things, then that's the opposite of freedom. It doesn't matter how they picture it, how they present it. It's against human rights. And I believe human rights should be our priority. So now I want to share this content. I want to leave all those open questions, and doesn't matter where you are, whatever you are, don't let anybody to tell you that this is your fault, because it's not your fault. Somebody created this virus with a clear purpose. Somebody released the virus with a clear purpose. So now they are dividing each other and making each other to fight, so they can rule. They can keep you distracted while in the background they are actually using you. So if somebody tells you that it's your fault, you have created this, the rates have gone up because of you. No, in the first place, you didn't create this virus. And I still don't understand why we're not asking the essential question. Who is responsible for this? And how are we going to prosecute this company or this person or these estates? How are we going to do that? And that's critical thinking. So we use the law. If somebody else, if your neighbor that is 10 years old come and become a mass murderer and he kills the whole neighborhood, police will be involved. He will be prosecuted. Something will have been done. But because we're talking about higher levels, then everybody is just here on the lower levels, just eating each other and fighting with each other. When the truth is that we need to stop it. We need to stop this to happen ever again in life, ever again. We need to stop these mass murderers destroying livelihoods, destroying businesses, and killing thousands and millions of people. Because this needs to be stopped, absolutely stopped. If we really empower freedom and the law and the justice, we cannot remain quiet, ignoring, apart. We cannot. We cannot do that. We need to find harmony. We need to find balance. I believe everybody is entitled to be in this planet. I believe countries don't need to, be nasty to each other in basic words. Basic. This is the basic words. This is everybody in the world will understand this. We don't need to be fighting for power constantly. Why governments don't concentrate in their own countries, in bringing solutions to their own people? There is so much work to do that is unbelievable. So rather than trying to conquer another country, trying to be always on the top of another country, trying to fight for power, why they don't invest all that energy in themselves? And yes, I believe in global, I believe in trading with each other, but I do believe that why to waste the time arguing with each other, fighting each other, when we actually, each government can start taking care of themselves and then open up doors and open that innovations and trade with one another. So that's what we do in marketing. That's what we do in commerce. That's what you do in management. You just don't go and release virus to the other company, to your competition. You don't try to destroy your competition like that. You actually try to negotiate. And what is the difference? What is the difference? We need to start seeing the things the way they are, really. Your country treated like your house. Will you tolerate your husband to be ignorant, to ignore you, to tell you lies, to never pay the rent, to never provide you with money, to take your passport away, to beat you every day, to lie to you every day? You would not allow that, would you? You will be straight away with the police because that's what you have to do. Will you allow your husband to treat you badly, to denigrate you, to tell you every day how bad you are in the kitchen, how bad you are, that you are worthless, anything? You would not allow that. So why do we why we allow that in a bigger level? I always ask myself that. If the law is very clear for these civil cases and specific cases where we protect women and men that have been going through trauma and emotional circumstances, why don't we protect? Why don't we act the same? The government work for the state. The government is the management of the state, of your country. The government is not your God. They have to be accountable. They have to present daily results, weekly results, monthly results. We need to be able to see the accounts. We need to be able to see where the money goes, where the money moves. We need to be able to see everything. We need to be an open Facebook. That's what we need. And the law should be actually followed in any way, shape, or form. But we don't follow the law because the law is for people in this level, but not for people in that level. And that is injustice. That should not be allowed. You should not be calling yourself a person of integrity or merit or value or a judge or a police person if you haven't got that, if you haven't got what it takes to be a person of value, to respect the law, to stick to the law. And that's what we should be defending. We should not be defending corporations. We should not be defending high personalities or celebrities, or in this case, that I lately have heard, politicians. People kill one another for a politician. What do they do for you? Think about what do they do for you. You still have got the same problems as the last politician. No problems have been resolved. They don't do the management job. They are not leaders. So why would you be fighting with one and another? Why would you be defending that person? Why would you be worshipping a person that hasn't done the job properly? In the other hand, why would you allow only two parties? Only two parties. Most countries allow only two parties. So when this one is like having a bad husband and then the worst husband. So where do I choose from? Sorry, I like options. I love options. And anyway, this is going to be, I want to actually present you with a good source, with a good test, but I don't want to take too long. So I leave you there. Think about, meditate, do your own research, understand what is happening, and trying to live a life of harmony. Start practicing well-being. Start believing in yourself. You are a powerful human being. You are powerful, and that's why they want you on their side. That's why they tell you what to do and how to do it, and what clothes to wear, and how to dress yourself, and what to believe in yourself, because they want you on their side. That's what they do. They fight for you. And why do they fight for you? Because you are powerful. You are amazingly powerful. You have got everything that it takes to succeed in life. You just need some adjustments. That's all that you need, to adjust here, adjust there. And, balance your life. Believe in the scale of justice. Believe in what people before us did and fought for. Believe. Don't let anybody to manipulate you, because when people tell you what to do, how to do it, that's manipulation. When people there is two ways to do it. There is influencing. You can influence someone in a negative way or in a positive way, or you can actually manipulate people with bias. Bias language, bias communication, and bias approach. And you shouldn't allow that to happen. And I don't have nothing to lose, because luckily I have seen a lot, I have lived a lot, and the rest of my years, I just hope that I can be I can make contributions. That's what I hope. I believe in higher things. I believe in things that are uncountable. So whatever I take on this level is good for me. I must to say, the only thing that really frustrates me and make me really sad and make me actually cry is injustices. I don't cry because people break my heart. I don't cry for what most people would cry for. I cry for injustices, because I grew up in a place where injustices was our daily bread. And I'm always looking for that place where people are conscious, where people are aware, where people practice justices with one another. And this one will have part 2. So I hope you have a nice, beautiful Sunday afternoon. I hope you reflect when you go to bed. I hope you hear this message and you hear it and don't take anything for granted. Don't take nothing for granted. And next time I'm going to tell you why you should not take anything for granted, because otherwise you finish up like the people from Venezuela. And the UK is making me every day to believe that they are very similar from the people from Venezuela, and research yourself what happened with Venezuela. And I only can talk about my own experience, my own cases, the people that I have really met, the people that have spoken to me. I cannot talk, I know there are a lot of injustices around the world, and because of my work and what I do, I have heard a lot. And what I'm involved in, I have heard a lot of suffering. And I always think, how could I help those people? And my only thing in my mind, here in the front of my mind, was education. If everybody would be educated, if everybody will have the tools that they need, if we all, I don't know, plant more trees, if we all cultivate our own vegetables, if we all start looking after our kids in the right way, if we all prepare our kids for the challenges that they are going to face in life, then we should be able to create a better world where we all can enjoy it, where we all can be happy in it, where we all can be part of it, not just one area for some people and some area for other people. And you need to think about that. You need to teach your kids what is human rights. You need to teach yourself and your kids, because your kids learn for what they see. What you do, what you become, is how your children will be approaching or facing life in the future. You need to actually you need to put the television off. And I don't like to tell people what to do, but in this case, it's important. You need to put the television off, and you need to start meditating, and you need to start validating your own information. You need to start listening to your internal conversations and your internal well-being and your internal inner you. You need to teach your kids what is life for and how they should be living life. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And when somebody else does, it's destructive. It's destructive. Otherwise, think about the influence that the kids have nowadays with other kids. So you need to act before that. You need to put values there. You need to make sure that those values are followed. You need to make sure that there is something else in there, not just possessions and externality, because that doesn't make anybody happy in the long term. Otherwise, all the celebrities will be absolutely happy. They never would have been, if externality, if money, if external approach, if makeup and beauty will be the only thing that is important in life, then celebrities never will be taking their own life away, or they never will be overdosing themselves, if that will be important. But that's not important. What is important is what you are made of. And you need to be like a tree. The tree falls on one side when the wind blows, and then the wind sometimes destroys it, but then the tree is strong enough to come back. And that is what you need to teach your kids, to be thinking, to be engaging the neurons. And in order to teach your kids that, you need to practice yourself. So pay attention, keep tuned, and listen to this, share it, write your notes, do your daily notes and write them down, and tell me in your comments or in the email or whatever form you want, what are you made of? What are your values? What is important for you? And if any of this information resonates with you, then share it. Share it as much as you can. Save someone from this irrational world. Save someone from pain, from anxiety, from destitution, from poverty. Save someone, and you should become one. You should become an ambassador of humanity. You should train yourself to be empowered, to be a politician with good values. You should train yourself to be in the justice system, to be judge, or to be someone that actually have good value. You should train your kids to be there, and that's the way we will win the war. That's the way we will make sure that your children and your grandchildren and your grandchildren will be having a better world than what we're having now, and what our ancestors did. And I have got more to say, but for now, keep tuned, keep in